Interestingly, then when Quayla introduced me to this product, I thought, well, insomnia really is the biggest problem for many, many people. The average American sleeps 5.5 hours. That's average. And they don't even consider that insomnia. 200 years ago, the average person slept 10 hours. 40% of Americans do think that they have insomnia. They're sleeping often less than 5 hours. And all major diseases are associated with chronic inadequate sleep. Now, how many of you sleep a minimum of 7 hours well? The rest of you should be using silent nights, because I am here to tell you that I was very pleasantly delighted to see the results that we got in this particular study. We actually chose 25, one dropped out, people with insomnia. And they were evaluated with 3 standard, well-accepted sleep questionnaires. The Leeds Sleep Evaluation Questionnaire looks at the quality of sleep. The Epworth Sleepiness Scale is daytime sleepiness, and the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index actually is the length of sleep. Now, we did a number of other things. We looked at whether or not they were depressed. We looked at the total number of symptoms they had. And we didn't find many changes. Interestingly, to my surprise, only about 50% of them were depressed. I would have thought, if it was me, I'd be stinking depressed if I was not getting adequate sleep. But many of them were not. They didn't seem to have a huge number of symptoms, which also surprised me, but all of them were chronic. I mean, we're talking about not weeks, months, years of problems with adequate sleep. So we gave them the instructions, and of course, those of you who know Silent Nights know that there are 5 specific points that the people may apply the patches to. And I just told them, until you sleep really soundly, you just go through the 5 different sites. And basically, they wound up, most of them trying all 5 of the points, and there was no strong preference. I mean, if you look at it across the board, it was 5 or 6 people using each of these points long term. The Epworth Daytime Sleepiness Score decreased 72%. That means during the day, they reported 72% less sleepiness than before. That's very striking improvement. On the Leeds quality of sleep, they improved 80%. That's their assessment, depending upon this questionnaire, of how much better, not just how much longer, but how much better they were sleeping. And finally, the one that most of us would think of as the most important part of the test was the Pittsburgh, the length of sleep. That improved 88%. So if you took someone who was sleeping only 4 hours, and they're now sleeping almost twice that, over 7 hours average, this is better than any known drug in the world, and safer, with there weren't any negative effects, of course, in this group of people. Interestingly, of course, I then told them how to get in touch with Quayla if they wanted to stay on the patches. Some of them have told me even weeks afterwards they were still sleeping better. Just that 1 month of using the Silent Nights had somehow reset their thermostat so that they were sleeping better.